Hello everybody, this is Reggie Time and this is a video made specifically for PokerMarket. I'm going to host it on YouTube for the time being because I'm having some issues with uploading videos specifically to PokerMarket. But I'm going to just be making videos once every week, 2 weeks or so, to reactivate my blog on PokerMarket. It's something I used to enjoy doing, but it's something that I got out of the habit of doing when like life took over from didn't take over from poker, but when life kind of got in the way somewhat. I've still been playing quite a lot of poker recently, but I've been working really hard on trying to set up a small offline business in my other area of work, which is working with people and young adults and children that have learning disabilities in my area. I currently work for a company that provides support for these type of people. But my wife and I we're wanting to get into doing it on a self-employed basis and just like kind of source our own work, talk to social workers ourselves, talk to other charities ourselves, talk to other people who look to provide care for people with learning disabilities. And then it was something we're trying to do for ourselves and just like be self-employed with it, so we're not as beholden to rotas. I mean, I guess it's very natural as a poker player that I'm naturally inclined to have like a free spirit, and I have no idea why this fucking auto top up isn't working. It's quite annoying, but I'll deal with that in a moment. Sky's been playing up lately. It's been a pain in the ass, so who knows? We'll leave it for now because I'm not that asked about topping up when I'm talking. So yeah, it's as a poker player, we're free spirits, aren't we? Or lots of us are kind of free spirits. That's why we get into poker. And I don't want to be beholden to a rota for the rest of my life. I'm at that stage in my life now where I just want to please myself on when I work, who I work with, and etc. That's not to say I don't want to work, because I want to work. I want to be very busy. I want to put a lot of time in now so I can hopefully not be working into my late 60s. Excuse me. Living in the UK right now, there's a massive pensions deficit. You're kind of fucked basically. Anyone from like the age of 25 to my age in the UK, 40 or 50, it looks like you're going to be having to work forever because the bank has completely fucked our pensions up. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be having to get up for work when I'm like in my 60s and 70s, because I want to like enjoy my last few years before I finally fucking pop off the coil. So I want to work really hard these next 10 years or so. Be that with poker, be that with the support that we provide to the people in the community that are disabled and need help. And I just want to work really, really hard, accumulate a lot of money, and then just say, you know what, I can slow down now. I've got all my kids through school, everything's paid for in life. You know, I don't have an extravagant life anyway, so, and I just want to be in a situation where I can be settled and have choice when to work, when not to work. So I've been working really hard this last 2 months on making contacts and getting to know people, meeting a lot of social workers, meeting a lot of different organisations that work with disabled people, and just generally doing a lot of networking. And that hasn't left a lot of time for poker, but a lot of that donkey work's been done now. And now it's just a matter of waiting for the correct legal checks, getting a lot of that. We're tied up in red tape at the moment. So it's leaving more time for poker again. So I'm going to get right back into poker properly. I'm hopefully going to produce video blogs for PokerMarket for at least 2 per month. I'm not going to sell the videos. I have no intention of selling them. I'm just going to make sure I keep my blog very much updated. I don't want to get back into the providing the mentoring and coaching again. I've kind of let that drop a little bit recently. I've kind of already been working with maybe 5 to 10 players on a regular basis. And I want to get really busy with that again because I really enjoy doing that. I love the group sessions. I love the individual sessions. And I haven't deliberately let it slip. It's just slipped through like natural like circumstances, if you will, because I just haven't had time to promote myself. I haven't had time to promote the service that I deliver. But now I want to get back into it, and hopefully we can get that back up and running. because I think I definitely offer something different to the types of players that I want to try and reach out to. I'm very much a recreational poker player. I'm a winning poker player, but I play recreationally. I don't play tons of tables. I do look to find good tables with players like Push Me, with players like Danny. And, I want to have... I don't have a high volume. So if I don't have a high volume and I want to make poker pay, we need to have a high win rate. If we have low volume, low win rate, we're never really going to get the job done at poker. It's not going to hold our attention very long. And I think that's what a lot of recreational players currently have. They don't have particularly high volume because they have other things going on in their life. They perhaps only have 10 hours a week to commit to poker. So they're never going to get really, really, really sharp at the game. But then they're playing games where they need to be really sharp, because they still think, I'm going to have to try and get volume in where I can. So they'll be playing at the Zoom games against a bunch of sharp regulars, and they'll be ever so slightly out of the depth, but not so far out the depth that it's very obvious to a losing player, but they'll be just slightly out of the depth. And we're going to just bet, once he's pushed me, he's checked twice here, I'm going to presume he doesn't have the ace, and we're just going to bet twice to try and make him fold if it's not an ace. So they end up trying to cram Zoom hands in or snap hands in or whatever, and they end up just not doing very well. Poker's not a very satisfying pursuit for them, and they end up losing interest in it as a hobby, as in a way to make money and everything. And I think for those types of players, playing on sites where you accept straight away the volume is not going to be my goal here. My goal is going to be playing in good games of poker. I think those are the types of guys I want to reach out to, because I have and I will continue to help players that have done it one way and not made it work. And I've worded that badly, sorry, because I was concentrating on my king queen. I'm going to bet again here because I've picked up a draw. I think I am, just to put lots of pressure on. I'm making this bet here to put pressure on. He's all these just his pocket pairs. Obviously he's not folding a jack, etc. But if he's got a pocket pair without a club here, like pocket fives, no club, he's just going to fold nearly all of the time, I would guess. Going to make a really big raise here to try and isolate Push Me with our 2 nines. And then we'll get back to the point I was making in a minute, because I did tail off with it. So I'll start the whole point again. We did successfully isolate Push Me. And then the ace comes on the floor, which isn't ideal. I don't necessarily think he's got an ace. I'm not scared of the ace in terms of, he always has one. I'm worried about the ace because it kind of really restricts my ability to value bet. I'm really not worried about the ace at all now. I hate just check calling these 20 pence bets, but it's how are we going to get called by worse? I'm going to just value bet the river myself for maybe £1. What's that, 25% pot? Just to get called by a 7 or something like that, pocket 8s. I have Jack Queen here. We're just going to start by potting it in a limp pot. Let's see what Push Me had there. Yeah, he did have the 7. So, we could have maybe started betting a little bit earlier, but we don't really have, even against players with the blue tag, we win 2 9s on ace XX. It's not a hand where we can expect to get multiple streets of value. I just didn't want him checking back the river. I didn't just want him betting 20 pence again with the worst hand, which is why I led into him on the river, because I thought it was super unlikely he had an ace. Taking a little drink of my tea there. Wow. It's gone cold. That is minging. So yeah, players I want to reach out to and try and work with are typically recreational players. I'm not looking to reach out to work with players that want to play Zoom. They want to play 4 tables Zoom. They want to have a strategy of having a really high volume and then the low win rate that typically goes with having a high volume. Those aren't the types of players I want to reach out to. There's definitely better coaches, mentors, whatever you want to call them, than me for that type of player. But for the type of player that I want to reach out to, recreational players, guys that have jobs, guys that just want to play poker as a hobby and hopefully monetize it, I actually think I'm one of the best guys out there for people like that, because I just don't get into a lot of the stuff that lots of people talk about. And I'll mention that, I'll expand on that more in a moment. We're not going to bet again versus Push Me here when he calls. because we were just semi-bluffing, and a key component of a semi-bluff is the bluff part working. I don't think the bluff part's going to work too well against push me, so we're not going to try and do it. So yeah, I think I'm a really good fit for recreational players, the guys that don't want to do all the like really complex math stuff that surrounds around poker. I don't see myself as a poker coach. I see myself more as just like an experienced, like wise older head that people can talk to about all the different things that come with poker, not necessarily just the technical side of it. I talk a lot more with the people I work with about mental game, about bankroll management, about game selection, about table selection, about site selection, about getting all the stuff right away from the tables, which allows you to play poker at the tables without having to be absolutely technically perfect. Of course, we all want to strive to be as good as we can possibly be. I don't lower the bar in that respect. But what I do is I encourage people to try and find games that are appropriate for them. I'm just going to see what happens here with that king queen. We chop the pot. And yeah, I work really hard on my game. I try to not make too many mistakes, but I want to play in games where I can overlimp against people that push me sometimes, just on suited connectors. I want to play in games where I can just overlimp with my pocket pairs. I want to play against bad players where I can get away with playing exploitably and then exploit them to the maximum, because I still believe that it's possible to play a really solid ABC, pretty basic but fundamentally sound game in the micro stakes and absolutely print money if you find the right games to play in. It feels like you have to be a real maths wizard now to be successful at 10-L. You have to be absurdly good at poker to beat 10-L. And now, to people might listen to this thinking, what a load of shit. It's just true. There are tons of very competent poker players that are not getting the job done at 10-L Zoom in terms of like playing winning poker, and they're playing very, very good poker. And if those 10-L Zoom players were to say, you know what, I'm not going to play 10-L Zoom, I'm going to go and play 10-L on Sky, or I'm going to go and play 10-L on Unibet or whatever, they would have crushing win rates. I would back almost any break even. If you were breaking even at 10-L on PokerStars over 100,000 hands, I would bet a significant amount of money that you would be a significant winning player to the tune of 8 to 10 big blinds 100 at 10-L on Sky. I think it's that much different, and that's the kind of players I want to reach out to. Like well, not necessarily the high volume players, but players who are just struggling a little bit on stars but doing okay, but never really seen the long run because they're only maybe getting 30 or 40,000 hands a month maximum, and they're really pushing themselves to get that, and they're not getting much pleasure from the poker because of that. Those are the guys I want to reach out to, and I want to hopefully gently encourage them and point them in the direction of there is another way. And that's kind of how I see poker. There just is another way. I sometimes make videos playing Zoom and playing Snap because those are the games that people play, and I like making videos, producing content in the games that you guys are playing. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily being true to myself, so I'm kind of hoping to move away from making speed poker players and placing myself right in the niche that I think, right in the niche where I think I fit, which is low and micro stakes, no limit hold'em on sites like Sky and on sites like Unibet, where you can expect to come across a decent amount of recreational players. I like losing players. So I'm going to make much more content now that's going to be true, completely true to me. And hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it. Like I say, it's not going to be for everybody, but hopefully it's going to be for plenty of you. So that with all the spiel out of the way, we can hopefully now play some poker for maybe 10 or 15 minutes and see if we can't find some fun spots. If you do want to talk to me about joining my, I haven't quite got all the spam out of the way yet, sorry. If you would like to talk to me about joining my Skype mentoring group, now really is the time to do that. I run a monthly Skype mentoring service. It only costs $20 per month to join. For that, you get one private session with me that lasts for at least 1 hour. And I also run multiple group sessions per month where just guys from the group, we just get together, one of us plays a bit of poker, and we just have a chat. We just, any questions, anything that's been bugging you, We just get on with it and we chat about it. We chat about obviously anything that's happening during the session, and they're pretty informal, and it just helps people get to know each other in the group. It hopefully encourages them to sweat each other between sessions with me, and it just provides a really nice community feel to what I'm doing. And I think learning poker as part of a community is a much more effective way to learn, and also it's a much more fun way to learn too. No idea what Leg Hoyle's doing here, but we can give him the green tag while we're at it. P7, what a nice place that sounds to live. So yeah, I'm big into the social side of online poker still. I have a Facebook group, I have a Skype group. I'm forever talking to people on Skype, calling them up, doing sessions with them. I love all of that. I think it's important that we still, I think we have to call it off here against SPT winner. If he's got a king, then good for him. I still place huge value on that. The loneliness of being an online poker player can often be absolutely soul destroying for the guys who are struggling to make it work. And in my opinion, that's why people leave poker. But if you think back to the boom years, it wasn't just the games were good that kept people playing poker. It was the community too. There was tons of like really busy poker forums. There was tons of like IRC groups. It was like a really social thing. Online poker wasn't just the act of playing poker like it is. It wasn't like a cynical, or not cynical, it wasn't like a really greedy business. Wow. So what's his total stack going to be? 360, 18 blinds, pocket sevens, why not? I think we're probably crushed here by his like min re-raising range, but you never know. Turns out we weren't, so happy days. Excuse me. So yeah, I want to, in my own little way, and it doesn't appeal to everyone, again, like I said, I want to put the fun back into poker for recreational players as much as I can, and I think I can do that by providing the service I provide. It's like coaching services and mentoring services, but it's not just that, it's also providing access to friendly, well-moderated, useful poker chat groups. I mean, you go on a place like Reddit and 2+2, they're so damn toxic. And it spoils it for the recreational players. A recreational player will come along and they'll ask a question that's been asked 1,000 times before. I'm going to check call just once here with a 7-8. Probably won't call a second time. And they get some arsehole reg, like taking the piss out of them, being unpleasant to them, doing whatever shitty things, shitty break-even crap regulars do to make weaker players feel bad and to make themselves feel better. I don't tolerate any of that. I think it's an ugly, hideous side of online poker. So I'm trying to create something quite nice, really. And so that with the Facebook group, that's for people who don't want to use my coaching services, but want to be part of like a poker community. If you search for Regitime Poker on Facebook, join the. Please do come along and join the group. It's just a fun, light-hearted group where people post hands, they post screenshots, bad beats, you name it. It's anything goes. Just come along, have a good time with it. And then we've got my Skype group, which is for more serious recreational players who want to get better and who want to join my coaching service, have some sessions. And then just people in Skype who have worked with me before and who've moved on from me, just keeping in touch with them. I'm trying to keep online poker as social as possible because I think it's important. I really do, for a lot of players still. I think adding the social side to the game, it gives them some extra value on their money, even if they are just breaking even or losing. Then if they're making some new friends, if they're having people to chat about poker with, it makes everything, it makes the whole experience much nicer. So that's where I'm coming with it. I'm very much going to attack the social learning side of online poker over the next 6 to 12 months, and I'm hoping to build something, rather quite special. Whether I'll be able to do it or not, I don't know, but it feels like I'll be able to. I just got to ignore the people who hate on the idea, ignore the people who think poker is just an exercise in getting your grind on, getting your headphones on, not chatting to anybody else, just you and the tables and the intensity of like a hard grind. That's fine if that's what people want, but I'm hoping to provide something for the guys that don't want it to be that. I'm hoping to provide something for the guys who want to chat at the tables, who want to chat in in Skype groups without fear of being ridiculed, who want to chat on Facebook groups and forums without fear of being ridiculed. I'm reaching out to those guys and saying, look, I'm providing something here, and you're more than welcome to come and join me in it and help me make it even better. And that's what I'm looking to do. So if you want to get involved in anything like that, please do drop me a PM. Please do drop me an email. Please do make a coaching request and just give it a try for 1 month and say, you know what, this kind of thing, it appeals to me. What Reggie's talking about, I think I could give that a go. And just come and give it a go. Even if it turns out that you don't like it, it's $20. It's not like you're risking a lot. And I'm not the sort of guy that puts a lot of pressure on you. If you come and want to talk to me about things and then you figure out, well, I don't think it's for me after all, I'm not going to incessantly spam you for months and years afterwards. I'll still talk to you now and again. If you come to me with a question, I'll still talk, but I won't be harassing you via Skype. You may get the occasional message if I'm trying to promote something, but that's just a message that will go to everybody. I maybe do that once or twice a year, something like that. I just maybe use my contacts just to try and get a message out, but that's all. It's very, very, very little spam from me. No hard sell whatsoever, because I don't want that, because again, it provides pressure for people that don't want that kind of pressure. I just want to try and create a nice, open, friendly environment, and then hope that the people that appeals to then find me and get involved with it. I don't want to try and drag people who it's not for into it, because if you're not into it, you're not into it. I want it to naturally appeal to a certain type of player, a certain type of person, and then try and get the message out to as many of those people as I can. So that's why we're starting this video blog. That's why we're starting the Facebook group, etc. So yeah, that's all of the spam out of the way now, I think. So now we will just focus on playing some poker for another 20 minutes or so. The games don't look too great this morning, to be honest with you. Just scanning the lobby now, and there's nothing going on. I am making the video at 5 to 10 on a Monday morning, so it's not exactly prime time for finding good online poker games. But I'm free, and it seemed like something good to do, something productive to do. I'm going to raise Louisville here. If he's got a bigger 2 pairs, then that will make me quite sad, but on that board there's just so much you can get value from. Get value from flush draws, and just single ace hands. Seems very unlikely we get a raise, get value from 10x, but there's enough. We need leads into 2 players there. I think we're entitled to think he's either got a draw or an ace, and we can raise to get value from both. And our hand could do with a little bit of I hate the phrase, but protection. We don't want to be letting too many cards come off cheaply there when we just got bottom 2 on the board of that texture. When people talk about raising for protection, well, they're effectively saying they're raising for value from draws, aren't they? They don't want to get sucked out when they think they can get called by people with worse hands. So protection raise is effectively just a value raise. But when you've got a vulnerable hand, it does feel like you're protecting your hand, which is why the phrase is still used. But effectively, if you ever think, oh, I'm raising for protection, what you're actually doing is raising for value. You're just raising to prevent people from seeing free cards that could hurt you, in the expectation that they will call with getting the wrong price with draws, or getting the wrong price with just 1 pair, etc. Cuckoo. Shall we fold into cuckoo? Oh wow, Waco's put the cold 4-bet in. The yellow tag means weak tight. When Waco puts a cold 4-bet in, he's only got 2 cards, but I expect he's got trips. That's how tight he is when he puts a cold 4-bet in. And before anyone picks trips in, he can't have trips. I know he can't have trips. I was making the exaggerated point, that it's almost like he's got 3 or 4 cards, because he's so weak tight. He would never be called for. Well, not never. We should never say never. But I'd say he's called 4-bet there. The times he's doing that versus the times he's actually got a really strong hand. It's I wouldn't even bear thinking about. If he's bluffing even 5% of the time, then I'd be very surprised. Looks like this table's going to break, unfortunately, and looking at the lobby, it doesn't look like there's any tables to come and take its place. From what I can see at the moment, there's literally no other games running. There's only 251 players seated on the entire site right now, and that includes like tournaments, singles, and all cash game levels. So if this table 1 does break, we might be ending the video a little bit early, but the video's done the purpose of what I did to do, which was like reintroduce myself to PokerMarket and kickstart a new regular like blog update, but doing it in the form of video rather than the written form. It proves not to be a popular way of doing it. I will go back to a written blog. Now these games aren't seeming particularly exciting this morning. Once Push Me leaves, table 1 loses a lot of its appeal, but the orange tag is like moderate regular, yellow tag's weak regular, so I'm not expecting to be under too much pressure at this table. But at the same time, I don't expect to win an awful lot of money from Waco or Louisville. I do expect to be able to win a fair amount of money from Leg Hoyle, but Leg Hoyle right now is appearing to be someone who's just kind of like quite... Well, he's not exactly splashing around, is he? He's not. It doesn't look like someone who's just about to dump £20.71 on someone at the table. So I think there's a good chance I'll be ending this session soon and perhaps just going and doing some little chores I need to do and perhaps come back and have a late lunchtime session. That's how it's feeling to me. Now again, we've got Stokey up here who's limping into pots. Clearly not a regular, but again, doesn't look like he's ready to just drop his stack anytime soon. Angus doesn't. There's no one around at the minute who looks like they're just gambling. So in games like this, they're just boring, aren't they? And I've got other things that I can be doing at this time of day. So yeah, given the fact we've done what we meant to do, which was like make a blog that's, or make a video that's just the sole purpose of it is like reintroduce myself to PokerMarket and hopefully make some new friends there. I think we've achieved that goal, so we're going to like drop the video now, and just hopefully some of you guys will get in touch with me. Some of you guys will want to join the Facebook group. I will link to the Facebook group in the blog. The link to the Facebook group can also be found below this video. If you've come across this video in some other place, excuse me. If you come across this video in some other place, you will find a link to the Facebook page in the comment section below the video, or in my comments below the video. On PokerMarket, I will link to it, and I hope to see some of you guys joining the Facebook group soon, and even more, I hope to see some of you guys getting in touch with me with the view to joining my monthly Skype subscription service, which is starting again. If you're watching the video at the end of September, it basically starts every month. You can join in the middle of the month. If you find this video in the middle of a month, don't think that you can't join. But if you do join in the middle of the month, how I kind of do it is, yeah, fair enough, join in the middle of October, your subscription runs until the end of November, but you only have access to one private session still. If you were to want a second private session between like the middle of October and the start of December, they say November earlier, if you wanted an extra session in that 6 months, you would have to pay for the extra session. You wouldn't get just one. You wouldn't get more than one session, even though you're getting 6 weeks with a subscription for the cost of 1 month subscription. You would only get one private session for that initial payment. But yeah, I hope some of you guys do get in touch with me. I'm certainly looking forward to working with some new people, getting to know some new people. And even if you don't want to do that, please consider joining the Facebook group, because the more people that join that, the more contributions that are made to it, the better it is for everybody. The bigger the group, the better hopefully it's going to be. So yeah, we'll leave it there, and we'll hope to hear from some of you soon. And even if we don't, wish you all the best. Good luck with your poker, and have a fantastic rest of the year. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.